Fertility, death. Is our planet just overpopulated? Fertility rates. So, women virtually everywhere are having fewer and fewer children, and this might be for a good thing. Across the globe, rates appear to be converging at or below the replacement rate, and projection of fertility rates suggests that almost all countries will have total fertility rates at or below the replacement rate by the end of the century. However, the factors leading to this vary greatly, and there are four main factors to take a look at. So first and foremost are government programs and policies. Lowering birth rates has become one of the main focuses of many countries' efforts to reduce overall populations. And China is a good example because they launched a one-child policy and actually offered financial incentives to reduce childbearing. Now, I'm not saying that's a good thing. You shouldn't be fining people for having more children. You should try and help them out. But you do you, China. Availability of contraceptive technologies is the second factor we're going to take a look at. So new means of birth control, such as in Europe, where in Europe it's actually becoming easier to get a hold of contraceptives, and that wasn't always the case. The second example is in Brazil. 29% of married women have been sterilized. This means they can no longer bear children, and that helps to reduce the overall fertility rates in that country. And if that works for them, that works for them. Maybe they've had enough children already. Status of women is the third main factor at play. So empowering women is key to lowering fertility rates. Why is that? When a woman's only role is to be a wife and a mother, fertility rates remain high because they often bear children until they have sons because men are valued more. In Africa, for example, many of the religions have ceremonies that can only be performed by males, and that causes families to want sons for that reason. So it's kind of sad that women are looked at less, but maybe someday they won't be. Diffusion of changing attitudes related to fertility is the last factor we're going to take a look at as far as fertility rates today. So communication in the mass media in developing countries have accelerated the diffusion of ideas about fertility planning. So what this means is that popular television has been credited with lowering fertility rates in India, Pakistan, and other countries such as China. And when we talk about popular television, we're talking about in general television shows that suburban families are happy with having one or two children, and they're having a happier lifestyle than families with more children. Now, growing up, I have 5 younger siblings, so I know that's not always the case because I had a pretty happy childhood. But in poorer countries, it can show that having less children is a happier life. Such as when you watch commercials, like there's this new vacuum cleaner coming out, it has all this extra stuff, it's really good at cleaning the vacuums on TV, and it makes the consumer happy. So then the person watching that commercial might be like, whoa, my rugs are pretty dirty and my vacuum cleaner doesn't clean them that well. So it might cause you to go out and buy that vacuum cleaner. It's kind of the same way with popular television showing smaller families. And then we're going to take a look at death rates. It's a bit of a turn. So across human history, there has been a decrease in death rates, and this is known as epidemiological transition. So epidemiological transition is the study of incidence, the study of distribution, and control of diseases. So basically, health advances have lowered deaths because pathogens aren't killing as many people. What is a pathogen? You're going to answer that question, so I'm not going to give it away. Immunizations and antibiotics weren't available in the past, and as you can see in figure 616 on page 226, we'll go there in a moment. Some countries just did not have those antibiotics to give to their children. Disease prevention techniques have reduced infectious diseases such as HIV, which was prevalent in the 19th century, and lower death rates do cause an increase in life expectancy, which you will see in figure 615, also on page 226. So looking at figure 615, you can see that life expectancy in most places is in the green, and that's a good thing. We like green. Green means good. Green means go. And then in figure 616, you can see that immunizations are becoming available in lower income areas. So going back to the PowerPoint, where I have one more slide before the questions, I believe. Sorry about that. So is Earth overpopulated? Now this is a really hard question to answer for many reasons. Moral and political values come into play. What criteria are we supposed to use to evaluate this question? And too many people for what? I know if you really look at it, there are enough resources for a much larger world population. That would only require people to be more sustainable about the resources they use, and in wealthier countries, people don't tend to be very sustainable. So the question is just way too complex, but I know in my heart I don't believe that the world's overpopulated, and I look forward to hearing what you think. So I have some questions for you. What are the 3 top infectious diseases that used to be prevalent in the 19th century? I know I mentioned one of them. Do you believe Earth is overpopulated? What 2 countries, according to figure 615 on page 226 in the text, have the lowest life expectancies in 2014? And what is a pathogen? Until next time.